James is juggling body parts. My name's Rob Provencher, co-founder of NoBS Photo Success. Welcome everybody to this episode of NoBsTeeVee. Very scary episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say you look much younger. I didn't recognize you there.
Thanks. I changed my diet. I'm eating body parts now. So yeah, welcome everybody. We got a real scary episode for you, and we're going to dedicate this episode to
fear and loathing in Las Vegas. No, fear.
Yeah, things that are scary, scary things, because it's, you know, it's Halloween and there are body parts everywhere. And we wanted to talk about things that scare you, scare me, scare us. What scares you?
Waking up beside you in the morning. Rolling over and seeing your ugly mug there.
Yeah,
like, ah!
In your dreams.
Speaking of which, come to Nashville.
Yeah, come to Nashville. Inferno is coming up soon. InfernoWorkshop.com if you're not going to go. You know, we've got them spring and fall, and go to the website Inferno.
But you should come to this.
It's coming up soon. It's next week. Sure. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right after.
If you ever want to do something positive and spontaneous, this is what you should be doing. You should be like after you watch this, you should be like, that's it, I'm going. And book it and go, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, give up the body parts, severing the body parts. Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about things that are scary. So we thought we'd dedicate this to a couple of items that scare me. James is going to talk about some stuff that scares him. All to do with photography and growing a photography business and all the stuff that goes with that. So, first thing that I thought of that scares me, you're not going to believe this, but it's fairies. Yeah, fairies. Fairies scare me, you know. Little girls with the fairy wings and the magic wands.
Okay. So like when you're actually shooting that, are you like scared? Like,
well, in a sense, I'm scared because let me explain it. Let me explain it to you. Let me explain it to everybody listening and watching. Okay, I started doing fairy portraits about 10 years ago. Now, I wasn't really that scared, but I was sort of scared and I was apprehensive. And here's what I want to try and impart upon everybody out there. It's good to start out and try new products, but what's scary about it is that we don't know if it's going to work. So I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and I've done products and I've done product launches in my photography business in my studio that were absolute bombs, but that's okay.
So you failed at them?
Sometimes I failed at them. Sometimes they work. Now the fairies ended up being a very big thing. We do fairies all the time. We've got a lot of props. We've got a lot of specials going out. Twice a year we have Fairy Day, and it's very popular. It's very successful. And there's a lot of other marketing promos similar. You know, like the baby's first year, the sibling panel, toddler panel, creative kids club, the family plan, blah blah blah, on and on and on. All of these things. Let me explain something. This is what's really scary, and this is what I want to impart upon you as the big scary lesson to do with that kind of a marketing promotion, and that is when you have a big budget. I think it's a big mistake to get a lot of money and say, we're going to try this new promotion. We've got all this money. Maybe you've got like $3,000 or $5,000 or $7,000 put aside. And that's a really big mistake. And the reason is that we think that the money is going to make it work. But it's not reality, because you don't know if it's going to work until you test it. So you have to test it.
In the past, a lot of your marketing and promotions, you've used a very minimum budget.
That's right. Always keep it a minimum budget, because if you can't make it with minimum money, you're not going to make it with maximum money. That's so important. And let me give you an example. Let's say you've got a product like fairies or whatever it may be, and you're not sure about it.
Coffee table book on coffee tables.
That's a good idea. So what you do is you kind of maybe shoot a sample of one, or you get the product put together, and you get your target market somewhere, somehow, and that could be, for me, is like, and for a lot of us in photography, not so much for you because you're industrial mining mostly now, right? So
but I'm right there right now. This is where I'm doing.
So different demographics.
I'm trying to promote right now with a shoestring budget.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about connecting with people and giving them something that they're going to go, wow. When you show them your idea and you show them your sample, Don't show them body parts. No, show them. show. Show them. You wait for the reaction. Now, if they don't say, "Wow, can I sign up for that?" or "Where can I get that?" or "How much does that cost? Tell me more." Probably you don't have a good idea. If they go, "Yeah, it looks okay," and they're just like lukewarm about it, they probably are not interested. Don't go spending a gajillion dollars on props and backdrops. Really make sure you've got a good idea that's going to resonate with people, and they're going to sign up, and they're going to open up their wallets and give you some money, because that's really what gets the final vote, is paid clients.
What I find works too is once you create that hype, once you get people excited about it, you know, you get your few samples in, you get the people that you had do it, you get some testimonials, you get them talking about it, you know, then you create that hype and that excitement.
You had Dog Day.
Dog
Day was popular.
That's what I was just thinking. I had Dog Day, and the reason that was so successful was because I had body parts.
Did you have, like, when you started it, did you have like some really kick-ass samples?
I had some, yeah. Do you know how much Dog Day to promote my Dog Day? And for those of you who don't know about the Dog Day that I did, I mean, we've got past newsletters, stuff like that. I sold out my Dog Day in under 3 hours.
Cool.
But yeah, I brought a subject in. I had some kick butt samples. I brought a few people in that I did, you know, the test shoots with, and they promoted it. And for a good 2 months before the actual Dog Day, I created hype. I created excitement. I kept saying, "It's coming, it's coming, it's coming." You know, don't miss out. And that's, I think that's what the success was. Scratch my back. Yeah. But you know, like you're talking about fear, and this is where I'm at right now with my mining industrial. Is that's one of my fears. I'm scared to fail at this because I've sacrificed a lot in order to take my photography to this different venture. And right now I'm marketing and I'm advertising, and you know, like you said, I'm not blowing big budgets. You know,
which is a mistake.
It is. You know, I'm trying to do it very minimal. My biggest budget that for me will be my trade show booth.
The only time a big budget's going to work is if you've done it before, specifically in that area with that product, with that market, and you know from experience. You know, franchises, that's why franchises are so successful for the most part, not always, but because they have a proven system. You know, if you go to buy a Tim Hortons franchise or a McDonald's franchise, they have a system. So it's the only time really, but it's so easy to get caught up in that. I call it becoming a victim of the ad agency or the sales rep who comes along and says, "Hey, we got an awesome package for you for $18,000. You can get this," and you get kind of like, "Woo, starry-eyed. That's going to make it work."
I've experienced that.
You have, haven't you?
You know, I made that mistake long time ago when I spent a lot of money and had that done. But I mean, what would they know about your business more than what you would know?
Body parts.
Body parts. So remember, if all else fails, at least you know you're not scared of fairies like some people.
But that's the important lesson there. And the cure is to test, low budget, do your market research. So James, you got another thing that you're scared of besides severed hands and legs.
You know what I'm scared of?
Tell us all about it.
I'm scared of having to fail and go get a real job. Seriously, that's one of my
I hear Tim Hortons is hiring.
Yeah. And I'd rock that position. She'd like some Timbits with that. Medium.
Sorry,
no,
shut up. Carry on.
You know, after doing photography for 17 years now, and just having that, you know, that freedom to go shoot what we want, do what we want, be outdoors, I can't imagine going back to a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job.
And working for
the man.
The boss.
But you know what? In a sense, I'm almost going back to the Monday to Friday type job, because with my new photography venture, that's what I'm actually looking to do, is photographing Monday to Friday and taking my weekends off. But it's different. I'm still outside. I'm not stuck in an office.
It's your gig.
But yeah, you imagine now, after, you know, doing this, running your own business for this long, and having to go back and get a job. And I know some people you have to do it.
Stop fondling the body parts. I hear you.
But yeah, that's one of my fears is failure at this. At my career.
Who's your daddy?
Stu Hodgins.
Who's your daddy? No, who's your real boss?
my wife.
You got it, man.
You know, I say that not to sound like yeah, my wife, you know, my wife bossed me around. That's not true. My wife.
Oh yeah, she
my
does.
wife is the best. But you know what?
She's a dominatrix. She scares me.
You know, I'm proud to have my wife run my business. I am. That was the best thing that ever happened.
Me too.
You know.
Me too. There are moments.
That's another failure. If she ever left me.
You'd have to go get a real job.
Yeah, because I couldn't do my billing or anything like that.
You'd have to go get a real job. Anyway, stay married.
That's one of my.
All right.
You got another one?
Yeah, I got another thing that's scary. This is scary. Okay, listen to this. This is really, really scary. Weddings. Weddings scare me. No, they don't scare me anymore. But I'm talking like way back when I started out.
Like last year.
I was petrified of shooting weddings for the first couple of years. Like, I mean, petrified. No, I was younger and I was going through a lot of anxieties at the time, and shooting weddings didn't help because it was a lot of responsibility. And I remember going to a wedding, and I was just like so scared to walk down the aisle when they were exchanging vows. I was just like petrified. I thought everybody's
looking at you.
I thought everyone was looking at me. It was just like, I'm going to screw this up. And you know, and I'm going to tell you what I think the cure is to all these anxieties. I mean, my heart was racing. I was so scared.
Cocaine.
Actually, it was booze. You know,
so what? Sorry, didn't mean to. So what, you show up hammered at the church?
No. Couple of beers, shot of whiskey.
You're pretty today.
And you'd have to maintain a certain amount of control. But it was my medication of choice for a while, and I got over.
Now this was way back though.
Yeah, we're talking way back in the 80s. Now some weddings I would shoot, and I'd manage to get through it okay. Now, eventually, I discovered, and I got really confident, and I got at a level where, you know, I was actually got complacent and bored, and then I worked through that. Now it's exciting again, and it has been for many, many years now. But the key and the big lesson I want to impart upon you, and you can tell us your story in a minute on weddings too. Not that you're not shooting a lot or want to shoot a lot because of your new direction in life, but
a lot would be no more.
But for me, it was experience. If you're nervous, well, you know, you can qualify that with families or babies or children. Families are really a second, or if not equal to shooting weddings, because families are really, really hard to get good control of. I'm going to say weddings are actually tougher, but
weddings are definitely tougher.
Yeah, and especially when you're starting out.
That's a whole.
So, experience. Now, I did eventually join Toastmasters, and I tackled the fear of public speaking. And anytime you do something like that, you increase your confidence. If you do anything, you take jujitsu. James is a jujitsu guy.
Who hit you?
You know, that is expanding. He's expanding his skill set, and he's trying something. When you go up against a guy who's twice your size, are you scared? Are you ever scared?
No, because I freaking rock. No.
When you face your fears in another area, it increases your overall confidence.
Yeah.
So that's my point. That'll help. That's not the only thing that's going to help you get really confident in shooting weddings. You have to shoot a lot of weddings, and you have to get experienced at it. And if you're an old poop that's been doing weddings for 25 years, you have to change the way you've been shooting if it's not working out.
I don't think that fear ever 100% goes away.
No?
With
Excuse
weddings.
me. Say something while I go cough.
Yeah, sure, you go cough. You know, it's funny because Rob mentioned weddings. I too had that same fear. I used to, when I first started, I would throw up the morning of my weddings. I would not eat. Was I scared about the actual shooting part? No. You know what I was scared for weddings? You know, you charge a lot. It's a full day event. I wanted to give my clients the best of the best experience, the best images. My fear was that, the pressure was on that. Let's say the weather would change and we couldn't go outside to do shots, or, you know, time-wise change. That was my fear. My fear was for weddings was just to give them the best of the best. And you know what? Like you said, as years went on and I gained more experience, you know, the fear, most of it, I would probably say 90% of it did go away. You know, even up to this year, I had no problems with my weddings. They were fun, and the night before, I slept sound like a baby due to vodka. But no, I'm just joking. But you know what helped me? One thing for weddings, if we're just going to talk about the fear of weddings, one thing that I did probably 6-7 years ago is when my wife came aboard, I brought her on my weddings, and that eased the you get a little bit right there. That eased the stress of it of a wedding. Having a good assistant, somebody you can bounce ideas off of, somebody that can help out with some of the little things and stuff like that. That helped a lot. But
It's the little things that count.
But you said the one word that really is the easiest and fastest way to overcome a fear of a photography or shooting. And
Wait for it, here it comes.
Experience. It comes down to experience.
Yeah, you gotta keep shooting, keep shooting.
And so that you can handle any situation that
handle.
you know. And when you become
Handle.
very experienced, handles. You know, when you become very experienced and where you can handle the situations, all that does is just make you even look more professional in your client's eyes. If a situation arises on a shoot, on a wedding or something like that you just don't even bat an eyelash, you just keep on rolling and things just go smooth, and they pick up on that just shows you're professional and they appreciate that.
That's right. So, wiser words have not been spoken in the history of mankind. I'm serious. Listen to the man, he knows what he's talking about.
All right, so what else you got?
We're almost done. The last thing on my list of things that really scare me is a big one. It's more of a philosophical point than anything, but it really applies to just about everything, and that is complacency.
What does that mean?
Complacency means when you're just happy and you get just happy, everything's okay, nothing changes.
You're settled.
You're settled, you're not really inspired, you're not really passionate, you're not really motivated. To me, that's a big fear. I want to keep, living my life to the utter max, to the very last breath that I take on this planet. And that means many, many things. Health, mind, activities, experiences, travel, and in photography, I can't see myself never not shooting. I just can't. So for now, and it's always been this way, magazines and workshops, and I just happened to find this over there. It's an old rangefinder magazine.
Oh yeah, look at that 645 autofocus. Man.
Is that a film camera?
Optional film or digital backs.
Whoa, optional.
I love that.
We're going back in history.
I love that camera. 645, that was just a beautiful camera.
You're serious?
Yeah, I love that. That was one of my favorite cameras.
You had one?
Remember me, a 645.
Oh, I can't even remember that far back.
And it's funny because as soon as I got it, like 3 months later,
you sold it.
Digital came out. That's when we got the first digital.
You know what we call that? We call that bad timing.
I was just like, man. Anyways.
It just happens, and you know what you do? You just move on. So complacency is all about moving on and keeping an eye to the future, and always looking for new things to be taken on and new directions to be looking into in your photographic careers, your photographic studios. So, I think the enemy to, not the enemy, but the ally to complacency, the thing that really says to you, yeah, things are good, you got it, man, don't change, and that is ego and pride, part of your personalities that are part of the dark side that we don't want to address because, hey, no one wants to say that they're flawed. So we tend to self-protect and get defensive that way through our egos and pride, and we say, oh no. I mean, that's a big issue with photographers, and especially in the way photography is involved, because it was always like such a magical craft. It's not anymore. Everybody's a photographer. My aunt, who's 86 years old, can pick up a camera and shoot stuff that it was just about as good as anybody could shoot 20 years ago.
It's funny you should mention that. Pride,
sad but true.
Pride and stuff like that, because it's actually something that I mention to my commercial clients when I'm doing shoots. I actually tell them straight out. When I meet them, I tell them, you guys can't hurt my feelings. You just can't. If you don't like what I'm shooting, you need to tell me.
He's tough.
No, it's not that. It's just that I don't have a big ego in that. If you don't like what I'm shooting for you, you need to tell me so that I can change it, because you have an idea in your head what you want that image to look like, and I want to capture that image. So I'm not going to be all pride and ego and say, well, what do you know? I'm the photographer. You're not the photographer. But and I think they appreciate that.
Yes, that's true.
Now, you mentioned one thing for my last fear, which is complacency too. I always want to, I want to look back on my life when I'm old and gray and think that I did, the most I could possibly do for everything that I do. But the one fear that I have and you mentioned it as part of yours, was it's health. You know, I don't want my health to fail. That's
right.
You know, if my health fails, everything's done.
No diabetes here.
No, everything's done. You know, I'm not going to enjoy my leisure life. I'm not going to enjoy shooting, or maybe I can't get out and shoot. I'm not going to enjoy my social life.
As I'm coughing phlegm all over James.
You know, but you know, we've said it before. If your health fails, all else will fail. So that's my fear. That's why.
Scary thoughts.
Scary thoughts. You know?
Something to think about, guys.
Does it keep me up at night? No. Sometimes I wake up screaming popcorn, but I don't know what that means.
Sometimes I wake up and there's body parts in my bed and I'm like, oh, James is snuck into my room again and sending me a message.
There, you want to see a funny video about
in the forum
waking up scared? What was that video to go search there where the guy pokes me with a stick?
Oh yeah, pranking my wife.
That's fun.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you later.
See you at the Inferno.
Happy Halloween.
Looking forward to it.